Blobson Productions.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
I think Tyler is amazing.
And I'm a fan of this show. I've watched several episodes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. You stink, Tyler.
Never promise crazy a baby.
Oh, I like that. That's a cool idea.
Are either of you homosexuals?
I go both ways. What do you think?
You mean like flaming or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
But I do wonder, for others, in other cases, whether libertarianism today is just an excuse for many on the right to act selfishly.
Look at me. And then some fat asses in Washington started having opinions. The Olympic Committee started having opinions. You bitch, I know you. You started writing your opinions.
And it just makes me wonder, you're dead, bitch. You know, why are you doing this to this poor guy?
I don't care. I'm a libertarian. What I'm getting is...
Did you vote for Joe Jorgensen or Trump?
Who?
Joe Jorgensen. That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
We are live. LPR coming to you on a Friday afternoon. And I'll wait a little bit. Let you guys all come into the chat. Hopefully, it looks like we've got things going. I'm the one in the chat. That's good. But I think we've got everything going. Welcome everybody, episode 244, something like that. LPR coming to you live. What is up? Okay, let's just take a look here. Make sure I'm not missing. Nope, I'm not missing anything. So what do we have on tap tonight? Well, first of all, let's Jordan's coming into chat, I think. And by the way, I think I have my chat finally working again. Let's just there we go. I'm sorry, those are some test streams coming in here. We've got the chat working, and I think I could even pull them up in here, have them go. Let's do this. There you go. Jordan's not here. Getting a little drink. I've had all kinds of stuff ready to go for today, and a lot of work this week. Let me just recap what happened last week, why I didn't have a show. I think I talked to you guys about it. Hang on. Let's check everything. Okay, we're live over here as well. Okay, there we go. So I think I told you guys a little bit about it, which was my parents came into town. I had a birthday last Sunday. It was just Mother's Day. And my wife's like, hey, your dad's a big Yankees fan. Let's fly him in, because the A's are now playing no longer in Oakland. They're playing for Vegas, but they're actually playing in Sacramento. So I'm like, yeah, they're coming to town. Hey, they're here this weekend, or that was last weekend. My dad loves the Yankees. He's getting old. Let's bring him in. And wait, you went into emergency mode trying to recover Yee's kids. We're going to talk about that too, okay? We'll transition it over here while I talk. So I flew my parents in. I flew my son in from Washington State, and we went to the game on Sunday. The four boys. We went there. Me, my two boys, and my dad. And Dad wore his Yankee jersey. Just had a fantastic time. They won. We saw Aaron Judge. He went 4 for 5. It was fantastic. Everything you'd want. But it was also Mother's Day. So that whole weekend, my mom's here. My sisters both. Well, one was out of town, but sister's here. And then my nephew, my sister's boy, they had a baby. So it was just like a whirlwind of good times, fun stuff. And it was just a little too busy to be coming in here and doing a show for you guys. With that in mind, what's taken place? Well, Yee releases this song. We talked about it not this week, but the week before on Tower Gang. Our buddy Toad goes ahead and covers it on his ukulele, puts it out on Twitter. That is at almost 9 million views at this point. That's crazy. Tim Pool, even threw it up there. It's been everywhere else. So the total number of views are crazy numbers. And I don't know what that is. And the real question is, was he doxxed and fired? Wait for that one, because we have some news coming out over this weekend. Give, send, go, or something like that we may have as well. So anyway, you went into the merge. Oh yeah, we already said that, presumably. That's not what happened. So we'll talk about those kind of things. But then I thought I had some other ideas of what we're going to go over today. But then the glory that is the internet, brings us too many other options. With that in mind, I don't think you can change contingency in family law cases in California, but if Tyler recovers the kids, he is getting paid regardless. Oh, you're talking about Yee's kid. Right. Interesting point there. I did talk to Andy about that because I did throw out a tweet. And my point there is Ye, is it Ye? Kanye? So I think it's Ye. I don't know. We'll just call him Kanye. And then you can talk about dead naming me dead naming him. He tweets out about his kids and about not able to see my kids. And I'm like, it is in California. There is no such thing as, well, there is in California. There is a permanent custody order, which I've only come across a few times, okay? Those are very difficult to modify. You can still do it. So let's say a parent abuses a child and it's totally, legit. Maybe they go to prison over it. They can have a permanent custody order, with the other parent, and you are not going to be able to get up and over this thing. It's just until a kid's 18. I came across one lady and she was certifiable. She wanted me to do this, and I'm like, I didn't take the case. And then she starts calling and yelling at me and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's obvious, good reason I didn't take this. And you may have an anger issue. The point is, I don't think he has a permanent custody order. So what is he doing on the reg to? What is he doing on the regular to overcome? And I think you can do this. And I had a phone conversation with Andy the next day. He's like, look, actually, because I'm like, I don't know that what he's doing is the best for his kids. And then Andy's like, look, the argument would be that this is how he makes his money, being this kind of edgy person. Therefore, this is, how he has to do it to support. Perhaps I would probably recommend that he just does something different. I know he's taking a stance and it's like, yeah, but is that stance worth, losing your kids? And is that directly related to the kids? I don't know. But just you can still have, supervised visitation and all these things. Okay, I want to get to this real quick, which Lincoln says, hey, Tyler, how was golf? It looks like I played. I did not play today yet. My son had to work, so we decided to, and that's why it's at the normal time. I just happened to I usually wear like t-shirts or dress shirts to work. In other words, if I have to go to court, I'm wearing a dress shirt. I have a dress shirt and a suit jacket, a dress shirt and a tie in my office for those times where I just appear remote. Fine. Otherwise, I'm fully dressing up. Typically, I just wear t-shirts, but I've gotten a few golf shirts lately that I'm just doing this. So Curtis says, what up, Tyler? Yeah, thanks for everybody for coming in here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've been watching the Karen Reed trial a bit. That's been fascinating. A lot of other things going on. We've got JC in this chat. Finally, yes. On the golf course today. No, I'm sorry. I just talked about this. I'm going to go this weekend though. My son's been getting into it. I'll give you this though. My sister, I almost said sister. My daughter's boy. So my daughter's, what is she? A sophomore in college, and she's dating a guy, and he plays for one of the local colleges here. He plays for the golf team. He's a sophomore as well. Freshman year, he won state championships, okay, for collegiate golf. I think it was community college golf, actually, which is still pretty good. This year, he had the championships. He was the defending champion, and he blew up. And then Tuesday, he played in a qualifying round for the U.S. Open, and he missed it by a stroke. So bummer to him, but he's a very good golfer. I have not played with him yet. I have not gone out there to see how bad that's going to suck. But I'm not bad. Okay. Enough of all this stuff. We are going to talk about a few things. I'm going to get into this 86 stuff. If you guys watched the morning dump with Jose, he went and played a bunch of solid clips. Nobody heard him. Nobody heard them. He shot a 73, I think, so which was a pretty good one. Nobody heard Jose's clips because for some reason it was too difficult for boomer stuff to go on. So I love Jose, but that was actually at some point it was funny. I was gonna actually flip over from the YouTube. I was driving to work, listening to it this morning, and he keeps playing these clips and it's just dead silence. And then at some point I'm just like, okay, now this is just humorous. He finally figured it out, but I thought I would play some of those same clips because we're gonna talk about this 86 thing. But before we get there, I do want to talk. And I've got, this is what I was going to have lined up. So I'm just going to do a short bit on it, which is some of this cringe political shit by a few people. One of them I used to like, right? Two or three of them I used to like. And specifically, I've got a whole bookmark. You can have folders. One is just called Mike Lee Grift. Now, who's Mike Lee? Mike Lee is a senator, Mike Lee from Utah. And he's very, people say he should be on the Supreme Court. But then you look at his Twitter posts and you go like, I don't think so. He does things now where he's just grift posting. It's the most cringe thing ever. It's always the question. And I'm like, you're in Congress or you're in the Senate right now. You could actually make these things happen, and you're acting so completely stupid about everything. Now, another person like that, and we're going to have a few things of him, is Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz. It's these two senators. Now, Ted Cruz, I think I've mentioned this before. I went to high school with his daughter. I'm sorry, his wife, not his daughter. That'd be bad. High school with his daughter. My ex-wife actually grew up with his daughter and was friends with their family, her brother, nice people. Matter of fact, I just saw his brothers, because I went to a boarding school, one of his best friends a few weeks ago at her wedding. Point is, I'm a fan of Heidi, his wife, okay? She's smart. She was super nice. I never had any problems with her. We were in the same friend group. Ted Cruz, I was a fan of his, and then I've really kind of gone away because, as a matter of fact, it was when, I've mentioned this story before a few times. When Trump got the election over him, I was just like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna, and that's when I went to the libertarian route. What's odd is I could stand Trump now more than I can Ted Cruz, because I think he's just a mindless shill. But that's the problem too, which is I think he's a smart guy, so this is even more frustrating. Now, I'm going to play this clip of him, okay? This is a new thing he's pushing out here, and we will get to all the 86 stuff, okay, people? But this is a new thing he's pushing out, and this is about basically starting like a trading account, some sort of retirement account, or UGMA, a minor's account for each child. Now, on his Twitter, he actually, this is his Ted Cruz one, but on his Senator Ted Cruz, it's like, Ted Cruz is going to get everyone $1,000. I'm like, personally, I don't think that's what's happening. But let's play this 1 minute, 32-second little clip here. I'm going to do 1.25 speed because he just makes me cringe too much. Now, as I'm playing this, this is Larry Kudlow that's in there. Now, Larry Kudlow was, I think he's in the Reagan administration. I think he got kicked out of there. He was a big high finance guy doing coke, had some problems. But he's been on Fox. He was on CNBC for a long time, high business guy. He's a Stephen Moore type in that realm of, supply side economics, I guess you would call it. The Reagan type of thing. Now, what's interesting is I don't think there's any pushback because all these guys are just, they suck at the teat anymore. And when you see something with what they're going to talk about, I don't think it's any different than the Democrats years ago. Let's try this.
Well, it's a tremendously important proposal that I've been working on for more than a year, working with a group called Invest America that is a business coalition of CEOs and leaders across the country. And what this provision is, and as you noted, it is in the House Ways and Means Reconciliation Bill. The president supports it. The chairman of the Ways and Means supports it. The speaker supports it. We are going to pass it into law. What this will do is create a new personal investment account for every newborn child in America. And that personal investment account will be seeded with $1,000. And afterwards...
Who seeds it? Who seeds the money? Is it the government, or do you get to put it in? Because if you're talking about Social Security, which we've had, for a while, and people have talked about being able to privatize their own Social Security, that would be a great idea, right? But actually stop forcing me to either put into it or stealing my, my money for someone else. This sounds like if you don't have kids, you are just fucked, okay? That's what I get.
Each year, friends and family and employers can contribute up to $5,000 a year into that account.
Right. Okay, that's not so bad. But why are you starting this process? Because once you push it, it's going to be taken over as something else. Can you just stop taking the money? But this is your conservatives on display right here.
The money is invested either in an ETF or mutual fund that's invested in the S&P 500. So it's a broad-based investment in the equity markets. And it does two things that are incredibly powerful. One, it creates a whole generation of kids that are enjoying the incredible benefits of compounded growth. And that is transformational.
But why can't you teach that or do that on your own? This forcing, this is no different than just, but now you're going to have every kid have a meal. Every kid should have a meal. And so we're going to force this on it. It's like, it's no different, but you just think it's a positive in your case. I'm sick. I hate this shit.
It creates a new generation of capitalists as children will be invested in the market. They will have a stake in the marketplace. And the House included it. The president enthusiastically supported it. And I think this is a new provision that will change how our children are raised. And 30, 40, 50 years from now, we'll look back as it being one of the most impactful parts of this tax bill.
That is so stupid. There's no fucking way that you're going to look back in that many years and say, oh, Ted Cruz, that's what did it for us. Oh, that's what did it for us. Okay. Yeah, good for him. Still impressive. Only missed the open. No. You guys. The boyfriend missed this qualifying round. If he made this one, he would go to the next one. That actually was going to be up in Walla Walla in my hometown where I grew up. And my nephews were going to actually caddy for him. And they're like stud golfers, you know, shoots in the 60s and stuff. And then that would have been for the US. So there's some rounds to do. But, you know, they only took 4 or 5 out of, 100 here. And he was very close to it. So congrats on him. Death says, this week my anti-Semitism levels is at a 9. Absolutely. And when I say anti-Semitism, it's actually just the annoyance from the other side they call anti-Semitism. I saw Alec Berenson posted something about like, and it's ridiculous. And my only response is just like, this is when you believe the world started on October 7th. They have no ability to understand it. And then, people coming back, this one guy, he said, I should actually find this one because it's not so bad here. I'm not. Okay, let's look at my replies. It's somewhat recently. Oh yeah, okay. This guy goes, I said, when you think the world started, and then that guy blocked me, but he goes, when you shill for subhuman terrorists, and I'm like, strong words to define the IDF, but I'll accept it. It's just, you're not ingenious here anymore, people. With that in mind, that was another one. There was Debbie Wasserman Schultz proposed another bill, which we'll actually take a look at, because not right this second, because I want to get to the other stuff. But this is a bill that was proposed, and it's all about, once again, this Jewish stuff to counter anti-Semitism. These people are just, they're putting themselves, I think, out of business, the Zionists, at some point. Okay, so with that in mind, what are we going to do about making threats against the president, okay? And when there's threats made against the president, no one better at making threats than the former, what's the best one to look at this one? We'll take a look at this one. This is James Comey. So this is his, and I'm going to play this little clip here, but this is his Instagram account. He just happened upon, so there's so many levels of this that are just unbelievable, okay? Walla Walla Bing Bang, absolutely. There's so many levels of this that are just absolutely unbelievable. And one of those is that he just happened upon these rocks and then took a picture of it. He made these rocks. Let's be honest here. Now, 8647. There's two things here. One, people are like, that's exactly how many days it is since 9/11. Okay, but I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant get rid of Trump, okay? Or he's just, maybe he just posted this. Maybe he's like Toad, and he's just like, I don't agree with being a Nazi, nigga Nazi, but I'm going to, and that's quoting the song there, but, or Hitler, I guess it was, but I just shortened it. I took one word that encapsulated 2 other words, and there you go. But he's not believable. So this is him. He sees this on the beach, and I think, okay, so let's play this first here, because then people are getting all worked up over on all sides. But this is him from a few years ago, superimposed over his own picture.
The FBI is fighting a fire of racist violence, and with words like that, the president is using a fire hose to spray gasoline on that fire. Spraying gasoline with a fire hose, it creates a dangerous blaze for all of us, not just people of color, but for every community in America that has these thugs and criminals have a presence there, ought to worry about this. And the president of the United States should be charged with tamping it down, not letting it free.
Okay, do you guys remember a few years ago when Trump was first in office, if you did the okay, that meant you were a white supremacist? People like him would probably try. So I don't have any sympathy. I don't have any sympathy for Comey. So you hear a comment like that and you're like, oh, and this is the guy that was in charge. I think it's obvious what he tried to do during Trump's thing to get him impeached, or to not get him elected the first time, right? We kind of went after Hillary-ish, but then there was stuff about him. There was the whole Steele dossier, all that stuff. And he goes to the White House and he interviews them, and he gets 1 or 2 people to like try to perjure themselves. He was a piece of shit, complete piece of shit. I completely believe that. He is part of the problem with the deep state, right? Completely agree. But And fine, then go after him for all those things, right? Kash Patel is in charge, and he's like, I just saw a post of his where he subverted some sort of a terrorist attack, and like I'm sorry, Posobiec, all these guys, before they're probably saying bullshit. If it's him, it's all a setup. You instigate these things for Whitmer, and then you come in and you look like the hero of the FBI. Is Kash Patel now doing that? Is he part of these problems, or is he just propping up his own people that are doing this kind of stuff? Probably so. Remember, he was going to turn the FBI into a museum of the deep state on day one. That hasn't happened. You could go after Comey, but this is what you're going to do, because this is what you get riled up, and the masses are stupid about this. Matter of fact, Mays here, he goes, James Comey is a leaker, a liar, and a fraud. Completely true. Hey, Comey, tell us more about spraying gasoline onto a fire. Okay, I don't think his 8647 is actually as bad as some of this other stuff, because we're going to get to it. Okay, so that's what he did. He did 8647. And you're like, what is 8647? Well, President Trump is the 47th president of the United States. He's number 47. He was number 46, 45, and he was number 47. Okay, so that we've got that out there. Now, what does 86 mean? Well, these people are like, it means you want to kill the 47th president of the United States. Okay. Wow. Is that true? What does AI say about 86? Now, I not only did this because I'm like, I've used the word 86. I've heard that since I was late high school, college, about 86ing something. Okay. It never meant, in my mind, like killing it. Now, I saw Tim Pool out there. He's like, it means, 8 miles out, 6 feet under, or something like that. And you're like, okay, maybe. But what's the common parlance of this? What is it being used for? And when you use it on a daily basis, if you do, are you using it to, I want to eradicate that. I want to 80s. And by the way, you can use it in that definition of that way, such as, let's say an IDF soldier or Netanyahu or someone in this wonderful little land over there says, we want to 86 everybody from Gaza. They might mean kill, or they might just mean expel. Okay, so let's just see when I ask Grok, what is the significance of the number 86? Okay. 86 has varied significance across context. Cultural. In English language, 86 means to remove, reject, or cancel. Often used in restaurants to indicate an item is out of stock or a customer is barred. Okay, if you're barring a customer, he's basically dead to the restaurant. Does that mean you want to kill him? This slang possibly originated from the 1930s soda counter code or naval terminology. Numerology, the blend is 8, abundance of power. 6, harmony, responsibility. 86 may symbolize a balancing ambition with care for others, also linked to spiritual growth in some interpretations. Okay, so Comey wanted Trump, and by the way, I started this out with Comey. He's a piece of shit. So now, if you're just joining, go back and listen to that. I'm in no way defending Comey. What I'm defending here is common sense. And when you get the boomers so enthralled with this that they have because it comes back on them all the time, and then they just look stupid, in my opinion, right? When you're going to get worked up about an 8647, you're going to have the FBI go. Next thing you know, they're going to be at Toad's doorstep trying to get him for being a Nazi. Foreshadowing. Okay, science. 86 is the atomic number of radon, a radioactive noble gas. Oh shit. Mathematics. It's an even composite number, product of 2 and 43. Of course, it's the product of 2. 2 times 43 is 86. In sequences like Fibonacci-like Pell numbers. Oh, Fibonacci. You guys know about your Fibonacci numbers? Sequence. Pop culture, references and titles like 86. 86, a Japanese anime about war or discrimination, or as shorthand for the year, 1986. Yeah, were you born in 1986? Technology and computing, x86 denotes a family of CPU architectures. Context matters in specific angle you're curious about. Let's ask it right here. Is it a call to violence? There you go. No, the number 86 is not inherently to call to violence. Its primary significance lies in cultural, numerical, or contextual meanings. like the slate. And look, this doesn't mean everything, right? But I'm using this for a specific reason that we will get to down the road. 86 meaning to remove or reject something, i.e. restaurant lingo, or it's use of math, If you're referring to a specific context like a code, symbol, or recent event, please provide more details and I can dig deeper, including checking X posts. Could you clarify a prompted concern? Let's James Comey's Instagram, oh geez, I can't write, Instagram post with 8647. All right, let's see what it says here. Former FBI now deleted Instagram photo showing seashells arranged on a beach to form the numbers 8647. Caption, cool, shell formation on my beach walk. The post sparked, I want to know what beach he's on, right? Sparked significant controversy, who interpreted it as a veiled threat against Donald Trump. The term 86 is slang for get rid of, or in rarer usage, to kill, leading some to claim 8647 suggested eliminating Trump. That's really tough. Accusation. Trump allies, including Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. I laugh because she's a joke. Donald Trump Jr., okay, he's kind of a joke too. And Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. We're going to play clips that Jose missed, and accused Comey of inciting violence or calling for Trump's assassination. Noem stated on X that the Department of Homeland Security and Secret Service were investigating the post as a threat. I'm sorry to laugh about this, but if you're taking any of this seriously, and this is what they're doing. Once again, remember the Epstein files, we're bringing out phase 1, and then we're going to do phase 2, but there's a national security, and none of that shit's coming out. None of the important stuff's coming out. You have to realize when these blowhards, before they got onto power, they talked about all these amazing things they're going to do. They get into power and they are just feckless pieces of shit. Comey's response deleted the post and clarified on Instagram, saying he assumed the shells were a political message and was unaware of some associated 8647 with violence. He emphasized, I oppose any kind of violence, so I took down the post. Now, do we believe that? I don't believe as a purveyor of in the spotlight, when you're in the head of the FBI, you're not aware of these kind of things, right? Now, if 8647 was some sort of call to violence specifically, he would probably have been aware of it. He's also a bit of a boomer, so maybe he's not aware of it. So there is some sort of like possibility there. But this is also a thing that I don't believe it's a call to violence. That's why he wasn't aware of it. Political, yeah, get rid of, fine. But call to violence, and that's my issue right here with this. You know what, let's do this. Let's check in with the chat real quick to see how everything is going in here. Did you go golfing? I did not. I can't say liquidate on YouTube chat. Okay, Pierogi Warfare over there on the Rumble. He's telling Trump to watch out or he's gonna sleeping with the fishies. Maybe, Curtis, maybe. But why didn't that happen? Let's see if we can move this down here a bit. Then why didn't that happen before when he had a chance to do it? And it doesn't seem like he's doing much about it. No, I can't do it. Doing much about it now. I don't think he has any necessarily power to do any of that. Could be. You could be right. And by the way, I'll totally grant that the possibilities that what you're saying is true. I am going to take it from a legal perspective, and we're going to walk through this a little bit here. Is it a call to violence? There's no conclusive evidence Comey's intended post was a call to violence. The slang 86 primarily means to remove or reject, and it's used to mean kill is less common, not widely established. Comey's history as a Trump critic and his claim of ignorance about the violent interpretation suggests it may have been a provocative political statement rather than an explicit threat. However, given Trump's recent assassination attempts, and we're getting both sides here, and Comey's high-profile status, the post was widely seen as reckless by critics. Okay, reckless is one thing. Negligent, you could have negligent homicide, I guess, especially in a charged political climate. Sentiment on X, I don't really care to go down that route. Okay. Hi from that side. Drinks up tonight. Okay. By the way, some of you guys, if you're one of those people out there listening on Spotify or audio, I do go ahead and read your posts, your comments. We've had some good ones out there. Remember, you can subscribe to this. This is a podcast format. This is why it's so tight. And I don't like pauses. I don't like long moments here. I try to hit bang, bang, bang. You watch some of these other ones. I'm watching, Kurt as an example, or, some of the, Sean, our buddy Sean. And I'm trying to watch him, do the Karen Reed trial as an example. And, there's dead period. And you're not going to listen to that necessarily as a podcast. I have this out as a podcast for you as well. And if you're on the road at Spotify, it's got the video. You can do that. Also, you could go to my Substack. I'm drafting a Substack. A friend reached out to me and he gave me these questions about marriage, prenuptial agreements, and I wrote up a post about it. I'm going to post it out. Maybe I'll do a quick post on, episode here about it as well. But remember, guys, you can subscribe to this show as a podcast. Okay, let's keep moving on. So there was Comey's little comment. Here is Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz posted about this. He's like, is there any other reasonable explanation for this post other than that the former head of the FBI is publicly calling for the murder of the President of the United States? Okay. Is he publicly calling for the murder? I would guess Ted Cruz has no fucking clue what 86 even means. Okay, he doesn't know. Let's be honest here. He doesn't know what it means. And someone told him you should be outraged, and he said, "Oh, I'll be outraged. Sure, I'll be outraged." And then so he was outraged, and then he posted this. I don't think it's that clear. It's not clear. He didn't say go. And even then, we'll talk about your First Amendment rights. What did we have with Jeremy Kaufman? Remember when he posted the FBI, but it was kind of a little bit more than this. It was a little bit more specific than this about taking someone out and not having a tear over it. And we're all defending him, right? But this is where we're gonna go and get our cackles all up. I need to bring that Jeremy one back up. That's a great example, Tyler. Jeremy Kaufman, and did his go further than this? Now, what's disappointing about this is Ted Cruz is, I think he was the AG of Texas at some point. I mean, he's no slouch for, a legal mind, okay? And this is where he's going to go with this. And this is why I talked about the grok, what's common parlance about this. And so let's keep going else. Who else said this? Well, this is James Comey, FBI director. Oh, that's a different one I have here. FBI director. We are aware of the recent social media posts by former FBI director James Comey directed at President Trump. We are in communication with the Secret Service and Director Kieran. Primary jurisdiction is with the Secret Service on these matters, and we, the FBI, will provide all necessary support. Oh boy, people. They're coming after him. They're coming good. Marjorie Taylor Greene, not to be outdone, says, how many times are Democrats going to try to assassinate the President Trump? Here's the formula. Am I missing something? Am I missing it? Maybe I should go back in the chat here and see. You guys think he's trying to try to do that? Why did it have to be a beach with seashells? Well, because they're about as gay as you can be. Ted Cruz is a massive, yes, he is. Huge, says Curtis. I agree. Okay. Let's go in. So that's Marjorie Taylor Greene. By the way, I got some shit because remember, let's go back here. Let's go back to this text here of this anti-Semitic resolution. Everyone, there was one no vote in the House, and it was Thomas Massey. One. Everyone voted yay, 430 something or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, interesting. Did Marjorie Taylor Greene vote for this? Because she just came out against that other thing. By the way, there's so much. If you guys saw my breakdown of that, and then you actually paid attention to what I was saying, which is there's a bill from 2018 already prohibiting boycotting Israel. This was just adding another aspect to it, right? NGOs or a non-governmental, it's like the UN, okay? Think of the UN has something there that says you can't do business. It would be illegal for those for you to follow along with something that party had said. So if you listen to that and then you heard me, okay, and you got, oh, this has been in power or in law since 2018, and then you go and hear any of these other politicians, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she acted like it was the first. This is amazing, and I'm like, bitch, it's in law right now. How are you so concretely dumb about all of this? But they are. They don't care. So my question was, did she actually vote for this? No, she was a non-vote. She was abstained or something like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, let's keep going on the Comey stuff because I thought this is the stuff here that our boy Jose wasn't able to play. So let's break down the clips. This is your Vigilant Fox posting these. So let's get it here. This is with.
Are you buying that the former FBI director didn't know what 86 Trump meant?
Absolutely not, Jesse. That is a ridiculous and insane statement to make, certainly within this context.
What does it mean then? As an example, I wanted to 86 Biden from the presidency. I wanted to get rid of him. That's what everybody is assuming this comment had. I haven't seen much indication that it's anything else. And I've used this term over and over and over. If you want to now say it's something different.
But especially coming from a guy who's the former director of the FBI, a guy who spent most of his career prosecuting mobsters and gangsters, people who know and execute other humans and use this exact lingo of 86. Comey himself admitted in his follow-on message that he knew that this was a political statement. Well, the only reason he knew that, Jesse, was because a little over a month ago, a bunch of anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk protesters were proliferating the use of this 8647 slogan, which was a veiled call to action to murder the sitting president of the United States. So for Comey to think that director, former prosecutor.
I'm sorry, and I think I just screwed up the timeline there on the video. Is it a call to murder? Is it?
Prosecutor and someone who clearly pays attention to what's going on would believe his lie that he didn't know what this actually was calling for. The dangerousness of this, Jesse, cannot be underestimated. When we have 2 assassination attempts on the president's life, when we have people who look to guys like Comey, who've been celebrated by MSNBC and the Democrat elite and CNN as the beacon of integrity, the law and order guy, the guy who would tell the truth no matter what the consequences. This is the guy who's issuing a hit on President Trump, the president that the American people voted for. So it's guys like Comey and others who call the president the modern day Nazi, people who are in great positions of influence, who are saying that President Trump poses an existential threat to our country. These are people who hate democracy and hate the American people because they cannot stand that the people overwhelmingly chose to elect Donald Trump and send him back to the White House. So they are seeking other means to get their way and to try to remove him from that position.
Okay, so Smile and Be Happy says 86 in Italian mafia means 8 miles out of town, 6 feet under. Comey knows this. Does he? I don't know. This is the first, like I said, I'm 54 years old now. I've been using this term since high school. I've never heard it in that kind of way, okay? Now, it all is all context. If the mafia is going and they're removing someone, do you think the mafia, as an example, if they want to get rid of a problem, they aren't killing him or are they killing him? Sure. Their idea of removal is disposal. What's most people's idea of removal? It's probably not to kill. Okay, if you're a bouncer at a bar and you're gonna 86 someone from the establishment, are you going to kill them? If you're the mafia, you might. Normal people, reasonable people, and that's where we're going to use this context, are not thinking of it as murder. And I also would point back here at, and this is, by the way, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe in his mind, he's like, yeah, I want to post this about murder. That doesn't, I don't think that really works either. Could be. You could be right. I just think it's a little bit much. And I think it's a little bit much when now they're going to, because I'm going to get back here to a few other things here that I think are going to point to this as to why it's not that way. But when someone like Tulsi Gabbard and all these people that have just, and I'm sorry to hype the anti-Semitic stuff again, but these people, when I say Tulsi, Cruz, all these other ones, they are passing laws about speech codes. They're kicking people off campus. They don't give a shit of you, because if you speak badly about a certain group of people, they want to shut you down. Is that a democracy? Maybe, I guess, right? If everyone agrees that this is what we're going to do, then that's democracy rules. I know that that's not the way they want to do it. Okay, let's see if this one is, if they're going through anything more seriously. Let's talk Here, Tulsi.
Is the administration taking this, and what are the next steps going to be?
We're taking this very seriously. As you mentioned, the Department of Homeland Security, and specifically Sean Curran, the current Secret Service director, a man who has been willing to lay down his life as the lead of President Trump's Secret Service detail for years now. He takes this seriously and is leading the investigation into this threat. There has to be accountability for this. There was a Rutgers study that just came out a little over a month ago, Jesse, that asked respondents their view on these calls to assassinate President Trump, and over 55% of
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm half paying attention to her. These calls are you talking about? Are there more calls to assassinate Trump? I mean, by the way, this is all these things are epiphanies coming to me, right? I haven't done any prep here today. They are getting worked over 8647 that he wants to murder Trump. Yet they still haven't fucking figured out about the guy Crooks up on the top of the building. Did you get to the bottom of that one yet? Why don't you fucking spend some time trying to resolve some of these mysteries we have instead of creating these issues? No, I'm sorry. If you're listening to Comey and that's where your call to action is, maybe Smile Be Happy's right, but I don't think so.
Respondents felt that murdering President Trump would be, quote unquote, somewhat justified. This is the effect of people like James Comey doing this kind of stuff. Right. This study also pointed out that there is a quote unquote.
I think there's a better connection to a Bernie Sanders fan trying to kill the entire Senate or the Congress there at a baseball game, shooting Steve Scalise. I mean, now you're looking at some of his stuff and you're like, but I think there's more of a connection of the rhetoric drowned up by Bernie Sanders in those times than something like this. Okay, I just think
quote, assassination culture that is starting to take over the views of what they call the extreme left. We, the American people, cannot take this lightly. Whatever your politics, we cannot allow people to get by without being held accountable for this kind of public call to assassinate the President of the United States.
I don't know if you guys ever watched, I think it was Talk Soup. It was the original one. And the guy had like a white spot in his hair. Is that natural? Did anybody want to come in on this? Is that natural, what she's got going there? Because if not, I was watching the Karen Reed trial today, and there was this, I guess it was a female on the stand, some sort of, and she's got like green highlights in her hair. And it's just like, what the fuck, people? Is this, let's try this one. Let's see if this is any different. Let's keep going here.
Do you believe that Comey is goading you guys to come after him because he wants to be a political martyr? He wants...
Okay. This is where Fox, I think everyone, you start from my level where I think that Comey's just a doofus walking on the beach and he saw this thing. He's like, yeah, I know what this means. It means get rid of Trump. I'm going to put this and be provocative. And then these motherfuckers are overreacting. Now, is he really doing that? I don't think so. I think these are a bunch of boomers fighting with each other. Personally, now, Smile and Be Happy could say I'm wrong and this really was a death threat at Trump. Okay. I don't...
to be set up so he can say, oh, look, we were right. Donald Trump is a dictator. They're coming after me. They're arresting me. They're interrogating me. I was just using my free speech.
You know, whatever his intent, I will tell you that there is a guy in Georgia who was issuing threats on my life about a month ago, and he's in jail today. He has been indicted with a crime, as he should have been, and he is in jail as we speak. So whatever James Comey intent, he and people like him need to be held to account according to the law, which is something that he claims to have given his life for and stands by the rule of law. Fantastic. The rule of law says people like him who issue direct threats against the President of the United States, essentially issuing a call to assassinate him, must be held accountable under the law.
Do you believe...
Okay, shut up. Let's see if is this last one?
Position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be. I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life, and James Comey, in my view, should be held.
So, Meat Cavern, that's my question. What the fuck are these skid marks? I mean, I've seen those on Whitey Tidies, but why does she have this thing in her hair? Is it natural? If she has no choice, okay, that's fine. But I think then we need to look at the genetics. Why does she have this fucked up hair? That's an important thing.
And put behind bars for this.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with a position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do.
Okay, I think we've listened to that a few times. I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat. Aspud is in the chat. Tyler, yes. I haven't got any payments from anybody yet. Aspud is the guy. I can't go and beg like you guys do. But good to have you in the chat. Okay, I think that's all we're going to show from there. So, shut up, Jesse. Okay, so with that in mind, there are a few other people that are saying, no, you don't understand. James Comey knew exactly what he was doing. 8,647 days since September 11. Woo, spooky shit, people. Could be. I'm not going to do the math. I'll just assume that she's correct. And is that what he is? I think this is a dumb boomer. I honestly believe he's a dumb boomer, and that's what we have going on here. And it's a battle of the booms. It's a battle of the booms. Now, what I want to see is she wants him in jail. She being Tulsi Gabbard wants him in jail. Let's see which one works best. Let's go with this one. So I just said, because I know these things, and so let's have them out here. What are the elements? Elements being certain criteria that you usually have if you're going to arrest someone for a call to violence. Now, they have the First Amendment, right? You have the First Amendment that can protect you. You have freedom of speech. But even within there's time, place, manner that you can still get someone that they, don't have the right to do that, right? And maybe that it's a call to violence. It's U.S. v. Ohio v. Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. I think that's what this not Skokie was doing. This is basically Nazis' rights to do free speech, to march down the road in a Jewish community. The First Amendment protects free speech, but calls to violence can be restricted if they meet certain criteria. The key elements for a call to violence to be unprotected under U.S. law, based on Supreme Court precedent like Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969 are, and we'll get to those. I just wanted to also make a comment. If this was the roles were reversed, this is what's crazy. This is what's crazy about the left and the right. If the roles were completely reversed, you would have the left here doing exactly the same thing the right is. So when the right gets all worked up over, J6, they're going to do it back to you. Now, is it justified to do that? I don't know. Maybe it's the mutually assured destruction aspect where one party is going to go so hard at the other that, at some point you just kind of back off. I mean, Trump was legitimately, politically prosecuted. So there's an understanding that perhaps you go after your enemies now too. But are they doing that in any kind of valid way? This is my problem with this. It's the way that they're going after Comey for this, which is, it's so lame. And you have all these people like Tulsi, he should be in prison. Yeah, he took a picture and put it on Instagram. I was like, bitch, please. We're going to have all these problems with other aspects if you really push this particular issue. Do something legit. Go after him for what he did at his job, where he's a piece of shit there. Do something legit instead of this one. Okay, let's keep going on here. So you have to have these issues lining up. You have to have them. The one is intent. We've talked about this before. It's called mens rea. It's your intent to do something. What was his intent to do this? When he took this picture and posted it online, was his intent to incite violence? Okay? The speaker must intend, and speaker, poster, whatever, incite imminent lawless action such as violence. The problem you're going to get there is with the what is the natural, except for, someone mentioned here, 8 miles out, 6 feet under. Okay, that's the mafia. Is that what he intended, right? Or was the natural way of using these phrases not meant for that? Was it meant in a different way? Was it meant in get rid of him? Maybe, impeach him. right? Or was it only violence is the natural way there? Likelihood. The speech must be likely to produce imminent lawless action. Okay, really? James Comey is putting out secret signals, and now the word is out and they're going to take him out. Now he put out the secret one, and now the deep state is going to assassinate him? Is that really what we're looking at? These are the I'm sorry, people. You got to work your way through some of this stuff, and it just doesn't match to me, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was secret code. If it's a secret code, why did he have to put it out on Instagram? He didn't have to put it on Instagram. He'd just send a message to the secret person, take out an ad in the newspaper, something stupid, not with your name tied to it. This isn't how spycraft works. James Comey puts a picture of it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a spy, but there you go. Specificity. The speech must be directed at inciting or producing imminent lawless action, not just vague or general advocacy for violence. I don't even think this was general advocacy. This is not, I don't think it's specific enough. I could be wrong. Whoa, are we getting some money here? What is the difference between Batman and a black man? Oof, okay, are you gonna tell us? Okay. I don't know the answer to that one. Speech doesn't meet these criteria like political hyperbole, abstract advocacy, or expressions of anger generally remains protected. Context matters, including the audience, setting, and nature of the statement. For example, a direct call to attack a specific group with clear intent and a receptive audience could be unprotected. Now, I mean, look, I say all this, and then the State Department did try to go after Trump, in other words, for inciting violence on January 6th. So I get where everybody's at here, right? But you just like that, this is where you have to, are you consistent? Which is those times when that happened, were you on the side of, come on, that's a bunch of bullshit? Or were you like, yeah, the Jewish mafia said that's an incitement to violence. Therefore it's, now, Posobiec, all these other people, they're defending Trump up and down, as they should. And at this one, they should just be like, okay, it's just juvenile. It's just stupid. But they're not consistent. They're not consistent in this. For example, a direct call to a specific group with a clear intent and receptive crowd could be unprotected, while general rhetoric about rebellion might not. If you're referring to a specific case, feel free to provide details. Okay, you can dig deeper. You go fucking dig all you want there, chat, Grok. Gay, says ass butt. Okay, that sounds all right. Hannah Fracine says, I work for a law firm, and our code for shredding unneeded AFFs is 86. Oh my God, your violence to them. You are putting them in a paper shredder. The hysterical response to this is embarrassing for the right. Hannah, I mean, what are you literally doing to that paper? You are taking that paper, you are killing it beyond recognition, right? You're shredding it. You're making it so, would you want to do that to Donald Trump? Put him in a shredder? Is that what you're saying? That is unbelievable. She is just, you missed some donos. Oh, did I miss some good ones here? We've got those. The problem is the way I have this, my chat thing it's got some problems. It's got some problems, people. I'm doing what I can. Oh, we can go back on this one. A lot of restream bot stuff going on. Hi, Lincoln. Hi, Tyler. Did I miss some? Oh, I missed some donations. Is that what you're saying? I missed some donations? Okay. Well, I appreciate those donations. Let's take a look here. Maybe I got them over on this other channel. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So let me do this one here. People, I'm going to make this work out. Okay? It's going to work out. There we go. So be a begging monster. You know you wanna, says the original aspect. I appreciate that. The $20 there. 5 from Curtis says, what is the difference between Batman and a black man? Batman can go a night without Robin. Okay, that's so stupid. Do you love it? Okay, so I wanted to pull in one other thing here. Let's see, I've got this because I think this is maybe some important context. We always are looking for context, and we're looking for to not be, what do you call it, hypocritical. So Jack Posobiec, okay? Recently, he just said, former director of the FBI is calling for left-wing assassins to target our president and kill him. Have no idea why he hasn't been arrested yet. Leaders of the national security state of the prior power, so that was May 15. May 16, he puts leaders of the national security state of the prior power structure are openly calling for the assassination of our president. And people will still tell MAGA are the ones going too far. And then back here on January 29 of 2022, he wrote, let's get rid of this. He wrote 8646. Interesting. So here is a prime. By the way, this is just too right. This is too rich. And here's the bane of my existence here. This is from Good Morning Liberty. He posted this up there. This is the guy that also took my tweet and then made it my video and made it much nicer and got millions of views. Well, I only got 100,000. This guy is killing it off of this, and I thought I would bring this up just now to maybe kill it off of him a little bit. But I mean, look at this. Jack Posobiec, 8646, 46 being Biden. Did he call for that? This is a former, just like, who is Jack Posobiec? Maybe we need to look into Jack Posobiec, right? People have talked about, because one of the comments that I saw this is, whoa. This is the former national security director or whatever James Comey is. And you don't understand, this is just Jack Posobiec, let's see if that's right. He's a nobody. And he, the fact that he would do this, he has no power, so therefore it's just fine. Okay, who is he? He's an American alt-right. Oh, okay, interesting. Credibility in my case. A political activist, television correspondent, conspiracy theorist, and former U.S. Navy intelligence officer. Oh, are you telling me he doesn't have connections? Posobiec is known for pro-Trump comments on Twitter and has used white supremacist and anti-Semitic symbols. Okay, why am I trashing Posobiec now? Why am I trashing Posobiec? I thought he was a piece of shit. It sounds like a fine guy. By the way, this is the way they use a lot of this stuff to make them look bad. I don't think he's anti-Semitic. He's probably not even near that. I guess he's promoted. Oh, he's promoted fake news, including debunked Pizzagate conspiracy theory. Has it been? Those are the kind of things that kind of come back, and you're like, oh wait, I don't know that they are necessarily debunked. Claiming high-ranking Democratic Party officials were involved in sex ring. He's also promoted the Stop the Steal movement. Okay, from 18 to 21, Posobiec was employed by One America, far right. Okay, so I thought he was like an intelligence officer, and I know we talked about that. He worked for the United States Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai. Okay. That's suspect. Played a minor role in the film The Forbidden Kingdom. Okay. Later worked for WPHT, a conservative talk radio station, and campaigned for Steve Johnson. Okay, we don't care about that. Served several years in the U.S. Navy Reserve and reaching the rank of lieutenant junior grade. He was deployed 10 months at Guantanamo Naval Base, September 12th through, and worked Office of Naval Intelligence. There you go. Where he later worked again as a civilian. So that just means he was a spook. Okay. So all I'm getting to you from there is that all I'm telling you about that is, I don't know. He posted this out. He's got connections. He's former intelligence, just like Comey. He's got connections as well. Matter of fact, I bet he has a direct line to Kash Patel, Bongino, like they're going to take out Trump. Well, at the time, Comey, who does he have a direct line to? I don't know. The leaders are no longer in his favor anymore. So naval intelligence like Steve Bannon. I think I heard that one on Kanye's stream. I don't know what that was. 100%. Curtis with a banger. What did I miss, Curtis? Oh, the joke. Yeah, I appreciate that, Curtis. Appreciate your money as well. I appreciate all you guys doing that. Look, people, the 86, calm your fuck down. You're right. People are doing it. The left people are doing it. Let's focus on some real things. This is what gets me all the time, right? All this little shit here that they get worked up over, when this is the real thing that they should be get worked up over. Let's read this here. This is HR House Resolution number 352, calling on elected officials and civil society leaders to counter anti-Semitism and educate the public on contributions of the Jewish American community. I mean, people, this is just this is crazy shit. And why do I say it like that? Well, because You have, this is like the college, I'm going to fix this screen here a little bit. This is like the college stuff, right? Which is you are really getting worked up over privileged kids at Harvard. Is that really what you're going to make a big stink about? Right? Let me fix this one too. We'll get over this. Yeah, so you know, privileged kids at Harvard. So you're gonna really you need the Jewish Americans. They are not seen as being recognized enough. Let's look at it. Calling out elected officials to the contribution of Jewish Americans in the community. Whereas Jewish Americans Heritage Month has its origins in 1980 when Congress enacted a joint resolution titled "Joint Resolution to Authorize and Request the President to issue a proclamation designated April 21 through 28, 1980 as Jewish Heritage Week." And approved in April 24, 1980. Whereas April 24, President Carter, 1980, issued the proclamation for, April 24, 1980. When did President Carter? I guess his 1980 election, which then he take over in 1981. Jewish American Heritage Week, which is interesting because Carter has been talked about as an anti-Semite. Okay, he wrote a book basically trashing, the Israel-Palestine thing over there, kind of saying, "Hey, leave the Palestinians alone." And so he's been trashed as an anti-Semitic person. Yet he did this whole law here. Carter spoke about the bountiful contributions made by the Jewish people to the culture and history of the United States. Whereas Congress has played a central role in recognizing Jewish American Heritage Month since the House of Representatives and Senate passed resolutions in 2005 and 6, respectively, urging the president to proclaim the national observation of a month recognizing the Jewish American community. Obama did it. Bush did it. Obama did it. Bush did it. Obama did it. Trump did it again. Biden all issued proclamations of American Jewish heritage. Whereas since Hamas' deadly attack on Israel on October 7, 2023, anti-Semitism in the United States has reached record highs, with incidents targeting Jews and those who are perceived as Jewish. Perceived as Jewish? That feels very anti-Semitic to me, to call someone, you appear Jewish, right? And you're like, oh, whoa. I'm just negotiating the fucking price of this car. Why are you calling me a Jew? Evidently, that's been happening in here. By the way, I've talked about, and I started to do it, which was go through the Harvard breakdown of all the anti-Semitism. It's just so laughable, right? We've talked about that a bit. And when I say laughable, I mean, there's not real, you have a differing opinion of a country and you're anti-Semitic. That's outrageous. Okay, so it's all these Jewish things. What is this? According to American Jewish Committee, almost 70% of Jewish adults report experiencing anti-Semitism online. Yeah, because they all believe that they are just victims of everything. And they do report it. That's the crazy shit. Toad does a ukulele thing, and people are gonna get all worked up over this and try to report him. I think that just blows my mind. And yes, I'm sorry, Jews are overrepresented in the whining category officially. No offense, Aspa. Whereas most effective ways to combat anti-Semitism and hate is through education and awareness of the contribution of. So this is what you got to. The only way to combat this is to show people why that you should be more accepting to these people because they're so amazing. This does that. Have you ever heard of jealousy? Jealousy doesn't. You don't overcome. By the way, if that's part of it, right? If you're somewhat anti-Semitic and you're saying you're somewhat jealous, and then maybe it's the jealousy part, which they seem to think that's what it is. You're not going to get over that by showing how wonderful these and all the amazing things and money they've made in their life. That's just not what's going to happen. Okay. Whereas many Jewish American inventors that have impacted the everyday lives of Americans for the better. Irving Naxon invented and patented a slow cooker, taking inspiration from Jewish cooking traditions in Europe. Did it work on the Sabbath? Sylvan Goldman invented the shopping cart. Okay, at what point are we going to get to something that's not dealt with how to make money off of an issue? Berezin invented the first true word processing computer, an automated airline reservation system. Ralph Baer invented I'm sorry, this is all inventions and the patents that these people have probably made to make additional money. invented the shopping cart, invented this Burson, the third word processor. Ralph Baer invented the brown box, a prototype for the first multi-layer, multi-program video game system. Ruth Handler founded the toy company Mattel and invented the Barbie doll, that whore. Emily Berliner invented the gramophone record and microphone that became part of the first Bell telephone. Edwin Land invented the Polaroid instant camera. Hedy Lamarr. I've heard that. Was that Blaze of Glory? Invented the concept of frequency hopping and made possible a wide range of wireless communication technologies, including Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth. Whereas counter the rise of anti-Semitism, it is critical to increase awareness of Jewish American contributions to the success of America. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the House of Representatives calls on elected official faith leaders and civil leaders to condemn and counter all acts of anti-Semitism. All acts. Calls on the executive branch and state leaders to educate the public in contributions of Jewish American community and uplift Jewish stories and voices. Takes all possible steps to ensure the safety, security, and dignity of the American Jews in all aspects of their lives, including the workplace, college, and university. Okay, yeah, that's just a step too far. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen. And then we're going to look at one last thing here. I did want to look at a friend had posted something. Let's see if I could find that. Man, I got this chick here, Stealth Medical. I don't even know if this is her real. Let's look at this. This doesn't seem to be real. This is not a real photo. But this person is just a Zionist shill. She's coming after me now, even though she follows me. Anyway, weirdos. A lot of weirdos out there. Let's see. There we go. There's House Resolution. I thought there was something that our friend Mel had to. Okay. Yeah, she thought this part was egregious. Which we sure safety. Yeah, it's stupid. I don't even know why I'm getting worked up over that. Okay, last thing we're gonna do here is Mark Levin. He's gotten real worked up over people, and he came out and said goes nuclear on ex-Fox News colleague and schmuck Tucker Carlson. So let's play this clip here from him, and then I think maybe we'll be done for there.
The Middle East is filled with terrorists and terrorist regimes.
That's true. I don't disagree with that at all. One of those is where's Israel on there? You're not showing. Oh, Israel. Yeah, I think they're also terrorists. So yes, the Middle East is. He's not wrong so far. We're gonna fact check every bit. So far, he's true.
Americans do not like Iran and the regime that runs it. They're terrorists. They keep threatening to destroy us and our friends, the Israelis.
Now, when he says us, he really means is America? I mean, is America under the threat of Iran, or is it just Israel?
They're trying to get nuclear weapons and put them on intercontinental ballistic missiles. We reject it. I speak for tens of millions of red-blooded Americans.
Yeah. Okay, he means Jews.
I speak for Christians and Jews and others alike.
No, you don't.
This is the view of the American people. That's number one. Americans hate Hamas.
Okay, this is your big problem here, all of you, right? Which is when you equate not liking what Israel does with liking Hamas. Okay, Hamas is a piece of shit. It doesn't mean I like that the Palestinians are getting killed or that they're just destroying this area, right?
We hate terrorists,
no, you don't.
Butchers, Nazis. We hate men.
There you go. He hates men. I don't think we need to go any further on this quote. He hates men. That's the most shocking part of this whole thing. Pseudo snark is called the violence speech restrictions are gay. I've created 100 messages today with Restream chat. Oh, that's Restream bot is telling me that. Well, okay. There we go. I think we've got everything up to date. When does Mark Levin get throat cancer? Look, I posted in there. I'm like, he was a big buddy of Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh called him the great one, like F. Lee Levin. He's saying after F. Lee Bailey of the famous OJ trial. I don't think he's that great of an attorney. I've read some of his books. They're okay. He's hyperbolic. He's just like everything else we've talked about today. Mark Levin is the prime example of Jewish behavior. It's disappointing and disturbing all at the same time. But there we are. Let's take a look here at my bookmarks. I had a few other ones maybe we want to look at, and then we can head out for the day. Buchanan, the Reed trial. There's some homo. Wait, what happened to all the good ones? They disappeared. This thing. Now I'm going back. It's been months here, and so a bunch of them are no longer part of this. This is the last one we'll do. We'll do a Tim Pool breakdown. I guess he just had this guy on, Conover. Is that his name? So let's take a look at this, because I don't know if I like these arguments, but we will try this before we head out for the weekend. It's your last chance to give money, people.
So my point is, upholding the law is marginally good. Sometimes the law is bad, and that's why it's not always good. In this regard,
so wait, you're saying simply the fact that Marco Rubio exercised his legal authority to do something was good. It's like he had the legal authority to do it. He could have enforced this law as he saw it on anybody. He could have enforced it on a comedian, right? Who's in town and goes on stage and says, "Hey, you know what? I disagree with this or that." Or, "Hey, I just did shows in
Canada,
I just did what?
You're not from Canada.
No, but I just did shows in the UK and Amsterdam, and I made fun of UK politics, made fun of American politics."
You wouldn't dare make fun of Islam, though. Go to the UK and mock Islam. Do it.
Well, I don't have any jokes about Islam.
Why not? They got Pakistani grooming gangs raping little girls. Why won't you go to the UK?
What?
Why won't you go to the UK and make jokes about Islam?
I don't think it's very funny. I don't have any jokes about it. I'm so confused. Dude.
Okay, let me help unconfuse you. Are there jokes that can be made about Islam? Yes or no?
Wait, I don't want to. I don't want to go down this particular rabbit hole.
Oh, no. You're terrified. You're a hypocrite.
What?
Are there jokes you can make about Islam? Muhammad banged a little girl, right?
I'm really baffled.
Come on. You're terrified of the subject. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
In the UK, you can be jailed for making jokes about Islam or even bring up the grooming gangs. There are people who go online and pointed out that a stabbing was carried out by a Muslim, and they got arrested for it. I'll bet you $1,000 you will not go to the UK and make a joke about any of that stuff, because you will not go to a foreign country and, in violation of their laws, speak out against what they've said not to speak out against. Do it. I dare you. $10,000. Cash in your pocket. If you go to the UK and make a joke about Muhammad having a 12-year-old wife.
This we got here faster than I thought we would in this conversation. Where you're shouting at me about something I don't understand.
Let me just say this. So this is interesting, right? Because I think Tim is a little over the top with this, but I think he's also proving the point that he's trying to. If you're a comedian, you'd be just like, yeah, I'd say whatever the fuck I want, or I'm just not going to go there. I'm not going to say that because I am going to be put in jail. Perfectly fine. But you should be able to say whatever you want. I think this is your left-wing, mind-numbed comedian here, so he's not going to go down that route. So I don't. Tim's way of doing this seems weird, right? But he actually he's making the point, I think, with this guy. The fact that you say you don't understand it says more about you than anything else. I mean, how do you not understand this concept?
Don't really understand how you would think it's incumbent upon me.
Do you think anybody watching this right now thinks you are confused by the notion that in the UK you go to jail for mocking Islam?
I don't understand how we got onto you shouting at me about Islam specifically. I'd like to...
I'm sorry, this is girl behavior. By the way, I'm going to tell a joke here. We're deep into the show. I'm almost done. So the other... And I have no problem, and I know one of our people here does not like Kurt on civil law, but I'm watching Kurt the other day, and because he was doing the Reed trial, and by the way, I was watching him specifically because, one, I can't handle the women that do it. I don't know what it is, or female, then they're fine, right? But I'm also just like bored. So Sean does it later in the day, so I was watching it during the middle of the day, and I'm not a big fan of our buddy Joe doing it, because he complains about, he's like, I'm only doing this so I could get subs. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just enjoy it? So anyway, Kurt's doing this. Now, Kurt it's a break. So he starts to talk about the fact that he's getting testosterone replacement therapy, and he got a prescription. Okay, now he's not a member of Sam's Club, but he goes to Sam's. He has his prescription issued to Sam's Club. You can walk in there. You don't have to be a member. They'll allow you to go in there to the counter, the prescription counter, the pharmacy, and get your drugs that you've ordered to be there, even if you're not a member of Sam's Club. Fine. So he does that. Now, his testosterone is intravenous. Okay. So he must have needles for this. And so he's like, well, I'm going to have to buy needles to get my prescription. And the guy behind the counter starts to do it. And then the pharmacist walks up and says, whoa, he's not a member. We're not going to sell him needles unless he's a member. Are you a member? He's like, no. Well, then we're not going to do it. And he's like, well, if you're not, it's old Caddyshack. Well, if you don't give me no 50 cents, you don't get no Coke. So he's like, I'm not going to get it. So he doesn't get his thing. And he files a complaint online, and someone's like, lawsuit. And he's like, well, it's not illegal. And I'm sitting there going, like, his story is so female. Now, I like Kurt, okay? I have no problems with him. And I even put this in the chat. I'm like, this story proves exactly why he needed the drugs in the first place. It's like only a woman would act like this, or someone who needs testosterone. It was the most, just like, grow the fuck up, get it sent someplace else. Why are you trying to force your what's the chick's name that, Mace, Nancy Mace, is that her name? Or, where she's like, I was the first female that went to, the military academy. And it's like, bitch, why don't you stay in your own place? You're not a member. Right? You're not a member. Stop trying to be a member of stuff. So that was my thing. And Kurt must not have seen it, or he ignored it. He doesn't read my chats. Didn't kick me out of the thing. So anyway, 50 cents. Where are you getting your Coke at? No, it was Coke used to be 50 cents. It was Caddyshack. So, what's his name? Comes in, and Danny's behind the counter. He's taken over because Bill Murray's brother ran in the Caddy Shack, and he was gone. And then what's his name comes in there, and he's like, I want a Coke, and he gives him he goes, he raised the price to 50 cents. He's like, why not pay him no 50 cents for no Coke? And he says, well, then you're not getting no Coke if you don't pay for 50 cents. And then he smashed his face. Anyway, that's where we're at. Let's keep playing this.
Okay, it's because you said people should be allowed to come to this country and speak out against it. And you said you're a comedian, and and you go to other countries, right? And you said you go to the UK. And I said, okay, if you go to the UK, speak out in violation of their laws and see what happens. And you said, I'm confused. I don't understand. What don't you understand? Will you go to Turkey? Will you go to Turkey and speak out against Islam?
I mean, if I have a joke to make, sure. I don't have a joke about those particular topics.
You would.
I would.
You're saying if you had a joke about...
Oh, yeah, sure. I would try to do the best I can. I always try to poke the bear as much as I can. It's part of the job of a comedian.
Nothing to poke the bear about as it pertains to one of the world's largest religions? I mean, come on.
I mean, I haven't written a joke about that recently. All right.
Then
so look, hey, man, I'm a free speech guy.
Okay, maybe. So let's go to here. Death says, didn't he defend the defendants of the Iran-Contra affair? Could be. You're talking probably about Ollie North. Could be. Most of the right wingers at the time did. I did. Okay, I met Ollie North in the Denver airport once, and he was super nice to me, and I had nice comments to say about him. But yeah, you're right. Doesn't Tim have 2 pages of shit you can't say on his main YouTube page stream? Could be. Someone in the bot, I'm sorry, and over here, I can't put it up, said, I'm 20 minutes behind in the stream. This is banned Photoshop. I'm 20 minutes behind in the stream. Let's not forget, Gretchen Whitmer had the numbers 8645 on her desk back in 2020 when Trump was the 45th POTUS. Could very well be, okay? And I don't know that I think that means that she wanted to kill him. I don't know, or just remove him. Now, I wouldn't put it past these people. I just don't think that in our common lingo, that is what is meant here, people. Okay. I got a photo. This is why I was late. I almost cleared an acre of this thick brush. This is from our buddy. I think it's. Do I say his name? I'm not gonna say his name, but he mentioned it. That's really awesome. I love that. And by the way, it's Mickey on Twitter. I've got to send you some book suggestions. By Bob Murphy stuff. I really think maybe some early. I'm trying to. This is the problem. There's so many like early Rothbard things I wanted him to read, and I will get them. I will get them to you. Pseudo Snark. That's who it is. There we go. Okay, people. I am going to be out of here. So I think I've had enough. It's 5:30 on the West Coast. We've done a little bit of this. Go to my Patreon. No, I don't have a Patreon. I have a Substack. Go to the Substack. There is the option, I've just found it, and to do live streams there via OBS. I'll be able to live stream there. So I think that's a place I'm going to get you guys all over there. You can join for free. You can join Substack for free. Find me over there, Tyler Yonke on Substack. If you go to my Twitter, Tyler Yonke, my link tree, you'll be able to find it. You can sub for free. You can sub for money as well, but you can sub for free. And I'm going to do some members things. So I appreciate you guys all. Go over there. By the way, stick around this next week. There's going to be a lot of hard hitting stuff on the Tower Gang side. Free speech. Is it there? Is Toad fired? Will he get a new job? Is he going to move to Florida? We will find all this out. This is going to be a big deal, and maybe should have come on the show tonight, but he was a little scared. So love you guys all. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for the stream, Tyler. Have a great weekend. Try not to get smoked by the Corn Fairy. But by the way, I'm going to go watch some PGA Championship, play a little golf. I got to go back into the office either tomorrow or Sunday, do some extra work. It's been brutal. But I'm getting a lot of work done. I appreciate all you guys. I enjoy this so much. I don't even want to stop it. I don't know how to stop the show, but at some point, we need to stop the show. Sandstorm coming in. See you guys next time. Next week. Maybe before next week.
Okay, waiting.
But she's back.
And now.
Tyler, if you had any clout about you, if you had any like knowledge of the real world of what happens, we walk into Timcast's studio immediately. There's 4 Jewish lawyers.
King of the Druids.
Oh, that's all we needed. A Jewish princess.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't expect the normies like Tyler to understand these kind of things. He's just a podunk lawyer somewhere in like rural California. He's an idiot, really.
Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken.
This guy's, I wouldn't say he's full of shit, but I'd say he's stupid. Whatever, if you're in the comments, if you're in the chat now, I wouldn't pay attention to anything he says anyway. But
more or less, eat shit and die.
Don't ever come to the top left. He will end you. Do you see what he just did to Tyler? Just fucking challenge this.
Yeah, Tyler's done.
Top is a maniac.
He can't even reply right now because he's crippled.
He's got nothing to say. What are you talking about? I didn't say that. Why don't you argue with something I said, you dumb bastard?